Welcome to the course Introduction to R Programming. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about conditional executions and loops. Then coming to outline, first we will discuss about conditional execution, then followed by for loop, then while loop, then repeat loop, finally conclusion. Then coming to conditional execution. In our previous lecture, we already discussed about conditional execution is one of the control structure. So that is if condition. If it has two parts, one is simple if condition. Whenever the condition is true, it executes whatever the commands given. Then whenever the condition is false, then it executes the remaining statements which are not satisfying the condition. So in the syntax, if you can see the first one, if condition executes commands if condition is true. That is simple if. Then coming to second syntax, it has two parts, if and else both. If condition, it executes the commands only if the condition is true. Otherwise, it comes to else part. Else executes commands if condition is false. So this is simple if and if then else syntax, what we covered in our previous lecture. So here one observation we need to remember, the condition in this control statement may not be vector value. In this case, only the first element of the vector is considered. Then the condition may be a complex expression. In this case, we will use logical operators and with double ampersand symbol, or logical or symbol with double or symbols are used, what we discussed in our previous lecture. Then there is one another way of defining this if else condition that we will see here. See, the syntax for this another way of defining the if then else is by using the command if else without any space between these two. So it has three arguments for this command. The first argument is test. Here it includes the condition. It is going to be tested. Then second argument is true part. So whatever the statement you can include in place of yes, so it will be executed whenever the condition is true. The third parameter is no. So whenever the condition is false, then whatever the value in place of no, that can be executed. So this is mainly, we'll call it as vector valued evaluation of conditions in the form of vector. For the components in the vector valued logical expression test which provide the value true, then the operation given yes or executed. Then for the components in the vector valued logical expression test which provides the value false, then the operations given by no are executed, just now what we mentioned. So the true part yes will be executed, the false part no will be executed based on the condition test. Then coming to example. So here let us take 10 values that can be stored into the variable x equal to 1:10, and you can call x what it contains. All the 10 values are stored in the form of vector. Then you can execute our if else vector valued evaluation form. If else within bracket, the first test value is condition. Here the condition is x less than 6, comma, then the yes part here is x power 2, comma, then the no part is x plus 1. So whenever you can execute this condition, it has two parts. By taking the x value from 1 to 10, so for which value of x it satisfies the condition, then x power 2 will be executed. For which value of x it won't satisfy the condition x less than 6, then no part, that is x plus 1, will be executed. So before seeing the result, you can see the interpretation. First, if x less than 6, that is true part, then the first yes statement is x equal to x power 2 will be executed. That is in case of true. So if it is false, what is the false value? X value greater than or equal to 6. Then it is false. At that time, the second statement x plus 1 will be executed. That is x plus 1 in case of no. So by using this interpretation, now you can see for x equal to, for which values true will be executed, 1 less than 6 it satisfies, then it prints 1 power 2, then 2 less than 6 it satisfies, then 2 power 2 will be printed, then 3 less than 6 it satisfies, then 3 power 3 will be printed, then 4 less than 6, then 4 power 2 will be printed, then 5 less than 6, 5 power 2 will be printed. Then coming to 6 less than 6, yeah, see, 6 less than 6 it won't satisfy. Our condition is not including 6. So this condition is failed. So then for x as 6, it executes the no value x plus 1. So for x equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we get x equal to x plus 1. That is 6 plus 1, 7, 7 plus 1, 8, and so on, 10 plus 1, 11. Now the two parts are combined and can be displayed in the form of vector. That is the final output. Now you can see the right side screen. So this is the screenshot taken from the R software after execution. Now we will also execute this one using our R software. So first you can open our R, then you can store the 10 values into x equal to 1:10. Now see what x contains, 1 to 10. Now if else, first condition you can write down. The condition is x less than 6 here taken in the example. Then the true part statement x power 2 they have taken. Then the no part or false part, so that is x plus 1 is taken. Now check once the syntax. So now you can enter. Now you can see. Finally, the output will be calculated as per the interpretation what we explained. For 1 to 5 values, it executes the first part x power 2. Why? Because 1 less than 6, 2 less than 6, and so on, 5 less than 6. The condition is true, then s part will be executed. Then the remaining values x equal to 6 to 10. So the condition is failed. Then the no part will be executed. That is 6 plus 1, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 1, and so on, 10 plus 1. Finally, this is the output. So this is another way of defining if else in the form of vector valued evaluation. Yeah, then coming to our next important one, loops concepts. So before going to in detail about loops, here what is purpose of loop, when we can use. So these are all repetitive commands. So wherever repetitive commands are there, those are all executed by loops. So mainly here there are 3 loops we are going to discuss. The first one is for loop, the second one is while loop, then third one is repeat loop. Now we'll see one by one with syntax, examples, then live demonstrations. Then coming to the for loop. So what is purpose of for loop, when we can use, what is the syntax, and what are the conditions we need to follow. So here in this slide you can see if the number of repetitions is known in advance. So how many repetitions are there, that values has to be given in advance. For example, if all commands have to be executed for all cases, that is I equal to 1 to n, these values are given in advance in the data. Then to handle these type of situations, the for loop can be used. That is the purpose of for loop. Then coming to syntax, this can be defined as using the keyword for. So within function brackets, you can write name, that is the variable name. Then in is fixed. Then you can mention the data values or vector. Data can be represented in the form of values in the range or by using vector. Then inside the for loop, commands to be executed. This is the syntax. Here the variable with name. So what is use of name? Sequentially set to all the values. Then which contain in the vector, whatever the values in the vector. Then the commands to be executed inside the loop. All operations or commands are executed for all these values. This is the syntax and explanation of the parameters included in this for loop. Now we'll see help about for loop. So we want to know more about the help related to for loop. So by using the help command, so we can type in our R software using help within brackets with double quotes for the keyword for. Then it directs to the HTML page where the documentation regarding for loop is available. So whenever you can run this one, help within brackets within double quotes for, this is the page is to be displayed. So now you can see this is combination of not only for loop, all control structures are there. If is there, for is there, while is there, repeat is there, break next, etc. This is a common page where all the control structures are included. Now we are looking for. Now you can see this is the syntax. For var, that is variable. In is fixed sequence, that is the data, range or vector. Then expression. Then if you want to see some more details about for, here you can see the value. So what it contains. For while and repeat, it returns null invisibly. For sets a variable to the last used element of sequence or to null if it was of length 0. Then see bottom one example is also given. For I in 1:5, here I is the name, in is fixed, then vector or value is 1:5, the range values. Then it prints 1:I. This is one example. Second example, for n in C of, see by using combined vector format, C of 2, 5, 10, that is not non-continuous values. So you can combine using C. So then you are using x equal to stats or normal some calculations, executable statements. Like that you can see help about for loop or while loop or repeat loop using the command help. Then coming to examples, so here you will demonstrate different examples using for loop. First simple example you can see for I in 1:5. So we have taken the vector values as 1 to 5. So by default the first value is I. It start with 1. So I equal to 1. Then end value is I equal to 5. Like that it repeats the loop. Then inside the for loop, so here we used the print statement is a function which prints the argument, whatever the value given, I power 2. So whenever you can type this statement, then you can enter, the output will be like this. So how you will get this output? See for example, for I equal to 1, I in 1:5, then print 1 power 2, that is I power 2, so 1. Then again it repeats for 1 to 5 values. 1 is over, then next second time the second value is 2. So then 2 in 1:5, then print 2 power 2, that is 4. Then next value is 3. 3 in 1:5, so print 3 power 2, that is 9. Next value is 4. 4 in 1:5, then prints 4 power 2, that is 16. Then 5 in 1:5, so then it prints 5 power 2, 25. Then that's all. All values are completed. So then the loop terminates, then exits. This is the output. So this is the screenshot taken from our software after execution. Now we will also execute this one. So here we are taking for I in the range 1:5. So now you can enter each and every line one by one. Also you can enter. The plus symbol is used to combine the statements to the previous statement. So this is not arithmetic operator. By default, it comes whenever multiple statements are there with a single function or loop. Then print, here what you are printing, I power 2 you are printing. Then close the print statement, then close the for loop, then enter. Now you can see this is the output what we seen just now. So similarly, you can see another example. So here same as previous one for I in 1 to 5. Here you are executing different command I power 2 plus I power 3. This argument is printed using the function print. Now we'll also run this one. So here the same for loop. Now you are printing. So print of I power 2 plus I power 3. So first it takes I power 2, then I power 3, then these two will be added. Then close the for loop. Now you can see. So here whenever you can take I as 1, first it prints 1 power 2 plus 1 power 3. 2 plus 3. Yeah, I 1 power 1 plus 1 power 3. That is 1 plus 1, 2. Then next time I is 2. 2 power 2 plus 2 power 3. 4 plus 8, 12. And so on. I equal to 5. 5 power 2, 25. Plus 5 power 3, 125. 25 plus 125, 150. So like that, this will be executed. This is the output. Then coming to another example, here with higher range value. Previously we have only up to 5 values. Now here we have taken 1:20. That means I equal to 1 to 20. Now this loop repeats 20 times. Then each time it prints I power 2 plus I power 3 for different values of I till 20. Now this is the output you will get. Now we will also try this one. So here for I equal to 1 to 20. Then the condition, simply you are finding I power 2 plus I power 3. I power 2 plus I power 3. Close the print statement, then close the for loop. Now you can see. For I equal to 2, that is first we start with 1. 1 power 2 plus 1 power 3, 2. Then I equal to 2. 2 power 2 plus 2 power 3. And so on. I equal to 20. 20 power 2 plus 20 power 3. So we'll get 8400 for longer values. This is another example. Then we will see a particular range also. So every time not starting with 1, 2. In between the range also you will consider. So there you can see in this example for I in 15 to 20. So it start with 15, ends with 20. Printing the same I power 2 plus I power 3. Now these are all the results you will get. First I equal to 15. 15 power 2 plus 15 power 3. This is the value 3600. Then I equal to 16. 16 power 2 plus 16 power 3. Then you will get 4352 and so on. I equal to 20. You will get 20 power 2 plus 20 power 3. Then you will get 8400. So this is the screen taken from our software after execution. Now we will also run. Now here what we have taken for I equal to 15:20, the range 15 to 20. Then printing the same value, that is I power 2 plus I power 3. Then close the for loop. Now you can see. So this is the output. So like that, it computes for I value starting with 15. So 15 power 2 plus 15 power 3 and so on. 20 power 2 plus 20 power 3, like that. This is in a particular range. Then coming to using the vector also. So we already mentioned, if the range is not continuous, so random values are there, not in order. So at that time, you will take the vector format C combined. So in this example, you can observe for I in C of, we have taken 2, 4, 6, 7. These are all not continuous values, but the starting value is 2, the ending value is 7, but no continuity. So at that time, we can use C function, C of. Then print I power 2, simple taking power of 2, square value for all I values. So here the print function is a function to the argument. So whatever you can write inside the print, that will be printed. Then after executing this for loop, so this is the output. Now how it will be, see, first I equal to 2, that is it prints 2 power 2 4, then I equal to 4, then 4 power 2 16, then I equal to 6, 6 power 2, that is 36, then I equal to 7, 7 power 2 49. Then it ends the loop with IE 7. This is the output obtained from our software. Now we will also run this one using this one. Before that, clear the screen. Freshly you can start. For I in the range using C of, so 2, 4, 6, 7. Now next line, open braces. Open brace. It enters multiple times. So only one time, open brace. Here, what is the mistake? Here we didn't close it properly. Then open brace. Then print I power 2. Then close the for loop. Now you can see. So 2 power 2, 4. 4 power 2, 16. 6 power 2, 36. 7 power 7, 49. So like that, it prints the argument I power 2, a particular range, whatever. This is for another example. Yeah, that's all about for loop. They're coming to the while loop. So in this while loop, here number of loops is not known in before. For example, when an iterative algorithm to maximize a likelihood function is used. So one can use to handle this situation using while loop. So here number of loops not known in before. So at that time we will use while. Whereas for loop, the iterations will be known in advance before. While coming to the syntax, while condition, then inside the while loop, commands to be executed. These commands to be executed as long as condition is true. So only in case of while, whatever the condition, if the condition is true, then only the commands are executed inside the while loop. If the condition is false, then if condition is false, then it won't execute the statements inside the loop. Then coming to examples. So here also, if you want to see the help about while loop, here you can see use the command help within bracket while. The same page is displayed. So here we are looking for while. So while condition expression. This is the syntax. Then coming to examples. So here first initial value is required in case of while loop. For loop, already we are giving the range values in the vector. So it takes by default first value as the initial value. But in case of while and repeat loop, we have to assign the initial value. So here we assigned I as 1, then while I less than 5. So whenever this condition is true, I less than 5, then only it enters into the while loop, then it executes whatever the commands inside the while loop. If the condition is false, it won't execute the commands inside the loop. Then here we are printing I power 2, then you are increasing I by 2, that is I equal to I plus 2. So then the output is, now you can see how the output is 1 and 9. First you can start with I as 1, while 1 less than 5. Yeah, 1 less than 5, it is true. Then it comes to inside the loop, then it prints 1 power 2, that is 1 power 2 is 1. Then it comes to next line, then I is increased by 2. What is I value? We have taken 1. Now I equal to 1 plus 2, 3. Now it repeats again, it checks with I as 3. Now again come to while condition, 3 less than 5. Yeah, it satisfies 3 is less than 5. Then it enters into inside the loop, print I power 2, 3 power 2. So then it prints 9. Then it comes to next line, so I is increased by 2. Now previous I value what we have taken 3. Now I equal to 3 plus 2, 5. Again it repeats. Now 5 less than 5. 5 less than 5, it won't satisfy the condition. If it is less than or equal to, okay, but less than 5 won't satisfy. So it fails. So nothing will be executed. Then it terminates. The loop is ended. So it completely depends on the iterations by depending on the value of I. Here you can see one remark. The programmer itself has to be careful that the counting variable I within the loop is incremented. Otherwise, an infinite loop occurs. Whenever you are increasing I, you can take care of what is the increment value required. So after executing this while loop using our software, so this is the output, what we got. Now we will also execute here. So first we will assign I as 1, then while. So what is the condition we have taken? I less than 5. Then inside the loop you are printing. So I power 2. Then you are increasing I by I plus 2 with increment 2. Then close the while loop. Now you can see. So this is the output obtained by executing the while loop. So whenever condition is true, then only it executes the commands inside the loop. Otherwise, it won't execute any commands. Yeah. Then coming to the last one, the repeat loop. So the repeat loop does not test any condition, in contrast to the while loop, either before entering the loop and also not during execution of the loop. So it won't test any condition. So again, the programmer is responsible that the loop terminates. So when this loop can be terminated after some appropriate number of iterations. For example, to terminate this loop, we will use break command. The break command can be used. Coming to the syntax of repeat. So simply repeat without any condition. Inside the repeat with open brace, commands to be executed, then close brace within brackets. This is the syntax. So then to terminate the repeat, we'll use break statement. And coming to example. So here we have taken, here also initial value is required, I equal to 1. Then repeat, see here no condition is required. Then print I power 2. Then here also I is increment with 2, I equal to I plus 2. After that, one condition we have taken to break. So if I greater than 10, so whenever this condition is true, then it enters into next line. What is next line? Break. Then it terminates. So if this condition is not true, then again it repeats and prints the values with I power 2. Now you will get this one 19, 25, 49, 81. Now detailed explanation is also given in the next slide. Before that, first we will run this one and see the result. So here We have taken I as 1 already there, again no problem. Now repeat. So here no condition, open braces. Now you are printing some I power 2, then close, then increment I by I equal to I plus 2. Then we are writing one condition if, so what is the condition? I greater than 10. I greater than 10. Whenever this condition is true, then break to terminate the loop, then close it. Now you can see. See how you got 1, 9, 25, 49, 81. See here you can see the detailed explanation here. Here you can observe carefully. First we will start with I equal to 1. Then it enters into the loop, print 1 power 2. So 1 power 2 is 1. Then I is increased by 1 plus 2, that is 3, next step. Then it comes to next line, you check the condition, 3 greater than 10. This is false actually. Whenever it is true, then only it comes to the break. So it is false. Again it go back. Again it go back. Then again it prints 3 power 2, 9. Here you can see the detailed write-up is given. First I equal to 1, 1 power 2. So it prints this one. Then I equal to increased by 2. So 1 plus 2, 3. Then it comes to if condition, I greater than 10. So 3 greater than 10, it is false, no. Then again it prints 3 power 2, 9. This is the second value. Then I is increased by 2. Now the current value is 3 plus 2, 5. 5 greater than 10. This is also false, no. Then it go back to repeat, then print 5 power 2, that is 25. This is the third value. Then current value of I is 5, then that is increased by 2. Now it is 7. 7 greater than 10, this is also false. Then it prints 7 square, 49. This is the next value. Then I is increased by 2, 7 plus 2, 9. So 9 greater than 10, this is also false. Then it prints 9 power 2, that is 81. Then it is increased with 2, 9 plus 2, 11. Now you can see 11 greater than 10. This condition is true. So this condition is true. Then it enters into next line. What is next line? Break. So it is true. So it breaks. The loop is terminated. Like that, it will be executed. So to terminate the loop with some certain iterations, we'll use the break command. Then coming to another example, by using next command also. Additionally, the command next is available to return the beginning of the loop. That means to return to the first command in the loop. So we'll use the next command. Now we'll see example about this one. See the previous example by using next to print the beginning of the loop. See here I equal to 1 we have taken. Repeat first we are increasing I equal to I plus 1. Then the condition I less than 10. Whenever this condition is true, then it comes to next line. Then print I power 2. Then whenever this condition is true, then it breaks. When the repeat loop is terminated, means whenever I greater than equal to condition satisfies, then break is called, then it terminates. So whenever you can execute this one, now this is the output. So the interpretation is also given in the next presentation. So first you can execute this one. So first you can clear this one. Freshly you can start. First you can assign I equal to 1. Then repeat. What we are using first one, we are increasing I by 1. So I equal to I plus 1. Then we are calling one if condition. If I less than 10, then we are calling next to print the first part of the repeat loop. After that you are printing I power 2. Then again another condition for termination, I greater than or equal to 13. Then call break statement to terminate the repeat. Now you can see. So this is the output. First, it start with I equal to 1. Then the first case it prints 100. Second case 121. Then third case 144. Then 169. How these results are obtained? Yeah, see the explanation. So here you can observe. So first it start with I. Now I is increased by 1. So I equal to 1. Now 1 plus 1, 2. Now next 1 less than 10. Yes, this condition is true. Now it comes to next line. If the condition is true, it comes to next line. Then print again I equal to I plus 1. Now previously we have 2. Now it is 2 plus 1, 3. So then 3 less than 10. So it satisfies the condition. Again choose next one. So that is I equal to I plus 1. So here first we are getting I equal to 1. That means 1 less than 10. Choose next one. Now it prints 1 power 2, that is 2. Then 2 less than 10, again it is true. Then it calls I equal to I plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3. Then it prints 3 less than 10, true. So it prints 3 power 2, 9. So again it increases I with 1. So 9 plus 1, 10. Now see 10 less than 10. So this is false. So again it is increased 10 plus 1. Now 11. 11 less than 10. So it is also false. So then it calls I power 2. What is the current value we used? 10. 10 square. So that is 100. So for the value 10, it satisfies the condition. So the minimum value of I is 10. So it takes 10 power 2, 100. Next time I value is increased by 1. 10 plus 1, 11. That is 11 power 2, 121. Next value 12, 11 plus 1, 12. That is 12 power 2, 144. Next value 12 plus 1, 13. Then 13 power 2. So till this condition is satisfied. Then whenever I equal to 13 plus 1, 14. 14 greater than 13. So this condition is true. It satisfies. Then break. It terminates. So whenever the if condition is true, the last if condition, it ends the repeat loop using the break. But here next is choosing the next value to satisfy this condition. I less than 10. To satisfy this condition, that value result only printed using print of I power 2. That's why minimum value is 10 to satisfy this condition. So this is the using next command. Break is the same purpose. So that's all about the repeat loop. So that's all about the loops concepts what we discussed. So now coming to conclusion with the tips. So now we have completed some details on the conditional execution and loops, and now it is your turn to do some more practice. Take some questions from the assignment or take questions from say books or from your area and try to practice them. So loops are very important in any sort of bigger programming languages or any sort of program. So I am doubtful if any program can be really accomplished without the using of loop. So definitely the answer is no. Almost all programs that must use the concept of loops. So we will see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye. Happy learning.